Hello everyone! So my name is Aida Tunabila binti Abdul Aziz, but you can call me Aida. So today, I will be the first person to present our essay. So I will start with the introduction.
So the first thing first is opening statement. Education is a discipline that focuses on teaching and learning in school or school-like environments as opposed to non-formal and informal method of socialization. Next is general statements. First general statement is students need education to create opportunities for themselves, to stay away from illegal activities, and to provide for their families. Next, new education system needs to be established due to rapid urbanization that requires new skills and better knowledge for youth to serve the country in the future. Third, a lot of positive changes have occurred throughout Malaysia's education system, which will ensure a better future for the younger generation. Okay, so now I will continue with the last part of introduction and the most important part of our essay, which is thesis statement. So our thesis statement is, our paper will discuss about the change that have occurred throughout Malaysia's education system, their positive and negative repercussions, and whether the changes were necessary or not. Okay, that's all for my part, for the introduction part. So I will pass this presentation to the next person to continue with the first benefit.
Alright, let's move on to the benefits of the changes in education system. I'm going to present about the first benefit, which is to create a significantly more bilingual students. Malaysia has faced multiple challenges in educational language, and it is undergoing changes occasionally to improve for a better system. These changes may include the use of the language in communication or in education. One benefit of the changes in education is create a significantly multilingual students. As you can see, Malay language was regarded as the lingua franca during the pre-independence, and English still was used as a medium for study. Barnes' report stated that national school system in British Malaya will provide a primary education in English and Malay in 1956. Post-independence stated that there is a recommendation to have a bilingual education in national education policy, suggested in Razak report. However, a big rally occurred against the use of English in mathematics and science, and this spark of this controversy was reintroduced during 2019. However, the implementation of national education policy as the main medium of instruction and teaching in school was used to reduce the inequality and opportunity among the ethnic groups, not only for the English language. The use of multiple language in education generally also has been debated for several years and became an ethnic topic. And the big rally stated before also became a problem that affect the prosperity of Malaysia. To encounter all these problems, KBSM was introduced, and the aim demonstrated by Mahathir promises to equip learners with basic skills and knowledge of the English language. Malaysians should acknowledge the use of multiple languages as a medium of communication in general shall benefit not only to the teachers but also the students, since Malaysian students come from a diversity of ethnics, cultures and religions, and they shall remain the prosperity of Malaysia by avoiding the focus of particular ethnic, and it should be the reason for the changes in this current education system. Moving on to the next benefits of positive implications towards student development. A much more scientific approach starting from the early age of education will further improve the education system. Throughout the years, the integrations of the science syllabus was introduced from 1968. The trends of science syllabus continuously developing and adapting to the curriculum to suit local conditions. Malaysia developed STEM learning at a young age from as early about 3 to 4 years old in 2015. STEM acts as a way of thinking about how all educators should be helping students integrate knowledge across disciplines. it will introduce the desire, the knowledge or the desire of knowledge for the youngsters in science and technology, and at the same time will enhance student skills such as decision making, creativity, imagination, and so on. The outcome of the implementations of STEM is quite difficult to observe directly, but the developments of interest and motivation, the passions of the students themselves is possible. From constant interest and opportunities from students, we can expect that more students will approach more scientific and technological research-based occupations in the future and eventually will suit local needs. These implementations of higher order thinking skills, or also known as HOT, for secondary school students also is expected to be globally competitive and remain relevant. Thus, the current implementations of the scientific approach and the introductions of STEM for such a young age up until secondary school will induce the assimilations of knowledge in the future. That's what we are hoping, whether during the high-level institutions or even at work settings or general practices. These changes were necessary to induce Malaysia prosperity in the education system.
Hello and good evening everyone. My name is Nurul Hanisa and my business here today is to convince you to support my idea of changes in our education system is not a bad thing. One of the reasons why we need to consider making changes in our education system is to provide students with the opportunity to make significant impact on their personal development. And this is by having a better perception on what they study in school, that is, with a more comprehensive curriculum. The government in fact had thought about this idea, and the proof is a long history of a new system being implemented in our teaching industry, and one of them is the change from KBSR system to KSSR system. So basically, the KBSR system was established back in the 1983. At that time, there were not many schools operating and the number of students was also small. And so, the main focus of our government back then was to introduce and ensure basic skills and knowledge for each and every student to have, such as reading, writing, and solving math problems. We did manage to accomplish the goal of this strategy. In 2019, the adult literacy rate for Malaysia was 95%. Adult literacy rate of Malaysia increased from 82.9% in 1991 to 95% in 2019, growing at an average annual rate of 2.32%. That is a big accomplishment. However, we no longer have to focus on the basic abilities anymore, as we are now entering a new era of critical thinking and scientific development. We are now urged to have this new skill, that is reasoning, which allow us to connect our knowledge and their application by solving problems in real life. And that is one of the new elements entailed in the KSSR system. We can no longer rely on blindly following the syllabus or teachers. We need the student nowadays to think creatively and independently to fit in with the new world of rapid urbanization and innovative invention. My final thought on this stand is that we need to make some changes in our education system because the old system is no longer relevant. And also we will be left behind by other industrialized, high income, and more economically developed countries in this world if we don't allow some iteration on our education system. That's all from me. I pass this to the next speaker.
Hello everyone, so I will continue our presentation with the first counter-argument, which is network capability. So our counter-argument will be more focusing on underdeveloped network capability in a rural area.
Okay, so the first thing first is topic sentence. So our topic sentence for the first argument is, as we know, our country has been hit by pandemic COVID-19 since 2020. Due to this pandemic, a number of schools had been closed. So, our government converted the learning that was physically impossible to online learning to ensure all students didn't miss the class for a long period of time. But unknowingly, there are handful groups of students who are having difficulty with these changes as a result of internet problems or not having gadgets that can be used to attend these online classes. Next, I will continue with supporting sentence. So I will present the supporting sentence point by point. So the first point is sustainability of telecenter facilities. Second point is telecenters were located far away from their homes. As a result, they refused to walk a mile to go to the telecenter. So the third point for supporting sentence is there was a study conducted on the Wireless Village project and it was found that it was discovered that the network provided was easily jammed by a high number of users. And the unstable connection could easily be disrupted when struck by lightning. Thus, the Wi-Fi could not work properly. Next, the fourth point is, as long as schools remain closed, poor Wi-Fi connectivity remains a major barrier to many people that doing home-based education and learning. And the last point is, there is a student who said, but many students, including my friends, face internet connection problems. I wonder if the government can provide free data or Wi-Fi facilities for such students. So, let's move to the next part of this argument, which is action should be taken by government. So here, I already list out a few actions that can be taken by government. So, the first point is, government needs to reconsider the SOP of this online learning system. Second point is, the current implementation of our education system, which is oriented to online learning, need to be improved and reviewed further. The third point is, the government must take the underprivileged students or rural area students into consideration before they change or develop anything related to the education system. Okay, so everyone, I will move to the last part of our argument, which is concluding sentence. So our concluding sentence for this argument is, changes that happen without considering the network's adaptability are not sufficient for students and may affect the prosperity of Malaysia. Okay, that's all for my part for arguments. So I will pass to the next person to continue with the second argument.
Hello, Zainal and my friend. My name is Nur Atira Natasha and I will continue with the second counter argument, which is quality affected by the changes in education. So, what kind of the changes are occurring in our country's educations? There have two changes have occurred in our education, and I will explain two changes in our education, which are examination and subject. So the first change in education is examination. As we know, in 2014, Malaysian schools have recently changed from centralized high-stake assessment penilaian menengah rendah PMR to school-based high-stake assessment pentadbiran tingkatan 3 PT3. The PT3 system is entrusted to teachers which assessing student knowledge and skills, marking their answer and reporting the results to the ministry. From this system, we can see that the teachers are affected and have issue by these changes. The issue that faced by teachers are failure to sustain standardizations throughout the assessment process, having insufficient skill leading to idiosyncratic teaching strategies, insufficient resources and facilities, and the last point is the student inconsistent performance, which is student is not performing well both in the classroom and on the assessments. However, this problem can be overcome by redesign of PT3, which is dividing PT3 into two parts. First, centralized final examinations run by an external examinations board and marked by external examiners. Second, SBA involving only assessment like projects, assignments, and oral exam that monitored by teachers. Next, we discuss subjects that may affect the quality of education. The question is the approach in Islamic civilizations and ASEAN civilizations, and we know as a TITES, among students in higher education institutes encouraged or not? Before answering this question, let's look at a few points. Firstly, students who are studying in their course that are not related with the Islamic civilizations and ASEAN civilization still need to face the title subject. For me, this is not necessary because title subject will give a lot of assignments toward them and this will increase their work. This may disturb their focus to score on core subjects. Second point is regarding the due assignments for title subjects and elective subject may overlap. This will pressure the students to complete their assignment. Unfortunately, students who are unable to manage their scheduled time in completing the task will easily get into the stressful situation which will eventually affect their mental, emotional, and also their physical health. Therefore, it's not encouraged and the elimination of titles can prevent students from stress. However, this mess can be overcome if students know how to manage their time and take care of themselves too. Students can make a list of things to do so that their work is more organized. Students also should not postpone completing their assignment. This means if they have free time, they need to try to finish their assignments even though the due date is still a long time. Using free time in completing their assignment because we do not know in that period when completing the assignments is there any additional work given or not. If not, Alhamdulillah. But if yes, that may increase the work. As a precautions, it is better not to delay completing the assignments. To summarize, students who are good in managing their times will probably not face any problem in handling their assignments and not facing any unstable mood. That's all from me, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am back, and this is our refutation for this essay. We have totally agreed with the idea to allow some modification in our education system to ensure better future for the students in our country. By changing our education system, we will able to produce high quality and premium younger generation that can help solve the world problems such as climate change. We also want to be on the track with other countries on the Industrial Revolution 4.0 that is bouncing off the wall right now. However, I must say there are some problems and distractions that preventing us from maximizing the efficiency of our plan right now. That is why our government need to pay more attention towards those students who are having a hard time adapting with these changes. To conclude this presentation, I would like to say that changing the education system play a crucial part for the future of the students. And that is why each and every decision integrated by our government is made through a very long discussion and intricate rumination. And also these changes are absolutely necessary. Nevertheless, quick action is required to help some students that are struggling with problems such as network adaptability, especially those who are living in the rural areas. Consequently, addressing this scenario will be extremely beneficial towards the students, such as having a better understanding of the syllabus, excellent communication skills, and a creative thinking mind in order to tackle difficulties of this new world. That's all from our group. Thank you.